Okay, so if you're a beekeeper, you know that keeping your colonies healthy is job number one. But there's this silent threat that can just creep into your hives, fungal brood diseases. They're super easy to miss, but trust me, if you don't catch them, they can do some serious damage. So what on earth is turning healthy growing bee larvae into these weird, lifeless little mummies? I mean, it's a bizarre thing to see for any beekeeper, right? Well, the answer points to this tiny, microscopic invader that absolutely loves one very specific thing.
The culprits, of course, are fungi. And, just like the mold you might find in a damp basement, these hive-invading fungi have one thing they're after more than anything else.
And that's high humidity. It's a really simple rule, actually. The damper your hive, the happier the fungus. That single idea is the key. It's the key to understanding and, more importantly, preventing the diseases we're about to get into.
All right, let's kick things off with the most common one, the one you're most likely to bump into in your own hives, Chalkbrood disease.
So here's how it works. Chalkbrood is a fungal infection that hits the larvae after the workers have already sealed their cells up with wax. The fungus literally eats the larva from the inside out, turning it into this hard, dry little lump that looks exactly like a piece of chalk.
Now, what's fascinating here is that your bees are actually going to be the ones to tip you off. They know something's wrong, so they'll uncap the infected cells. That's why you see those perforated cappings. Then they try to clean house by dragging out the mummies, so you'll often find a little pile of them right at the hive entrance. And if you look closely at the mummies themselves, they start out all white and kind of fluffy, almost like cotton, but they'll slowly turn gray and then black as the fungus matures. And here's the dead giveaway for identification. These little Chalkbrood mummies, they're really fragile. If you were to just pinch one between your fingers, it would crumble into dust. That texture is the absolute key to telling it apart from another disease that looks kind of similar.
So that brittle, chalky feel is exactly how you can distinguish Chalkbrood from its much rarer cousin, Stonebrood. It's less common, for sure, but you absolutely need to know the difference.
With Stonebrood, the name pretty much says it all. It also kills the larva, but instead of turning them into chalk, it petrifies them. They become incredibly hard, almost like little stones, and this usually happens right before they're supposed to pupate.
Okay, so let's put these two head to head. It's pretty simple when you see it like this. Chalkbrood gives you those chalky, easy-to-break mummies, and it's way more common. Stonebrood, on the other hand, gives you petrified, hard-to-break larvae, and you're much less likely to see it. So, the bottom line? If you can crush it easily, it's almost certainly Chalkbrood. If it's hard as a rock, you're dealing with Stonebrood. Okay, so you've spotted a fungal problem. Now what do? Let's move from diagnosis to action and talk about some practical, real-world steps you can take to get it under control.
Now listen, this is probably the most important thing to get your head around. There isn't some magic chemical or cure you can buy for these diseases. Your only weapons are prevention and just really good management of the hive's environment. It's all about control.
All right, let's walk through this action plan. First up, think about replacing your queen. A new queen, especially from a different genetic line, can bring in stronger hygienic traits, which means your worker bees just get better at cleaning out disease. Next, and this is the big one, you've got to attack the moisture. Get rid of anything that holds water, like damp burlap or rags. Make sure your hives are in a sunny, dry spot with good airflow. And here's a great tip. Tilt them just a tiny bit forward. That way, any rainwater just runs right off instead of pooling. And finally, a cool little trick. You can give your bees a little nudge by lightly spraying the frames with a weak sugar solution. It kicks their cleaning instincts into high gear and gets them to haul out those infected mummies a lot faster.
So after everything we've looked at, the signs, the causes, the solutions, it really all comes down to one simple, powerful truth.
So here it is, the single biggest takeaway from all of this. The best treatment is always prevention. And prevention really just means fighting the hive's public enemy number one, humidity. A dry hive is a healthy hive, period. It's just a place these fungi can't get a foothold. Which brings us to one last question, and this one's for you. After all this, I want you to take a good, honest look at your own hives. Are they really, truly protected from humidity?